Hey, Carl. Hold on.
Sure.
How about the haircut? You know the haircut too?
We're on camera.
I'll get this out of here in a minute. That's yours, right?
Yeah.
I'll get this
Yeah.
off and then I'll. Just about 5 minutes.
When you bring up cell phones.
Uh-huh. I'll have to remember to say that.
Yeah, and no questions.
Oh, yeah, we'll do questions at the end.
Position recording secretary.
Anywhere she would like.
Anywhere she like.
Anywhere you would like.
Yeah, I don't have.
Okay.
Want a table?
I want a nameplate and a special strong.
If you want a table, I can get you a small table to work from.
There's a card table back there. I'll get it.
Well, yeah, we can get one out of the back. Oh, you have something, okay.
So we're sharing the screen now with this. Right, we can use this. Okay, see, I see the link popped up,
Yeah,
right? Now, when you want to get off this, right, you can hit escape. Let me see. Hit escape, right? Stop, share. What's that? So why did you say you had to flip between two things?
This is the
filling in. Thanks, Jay.
Let's see, most councils don't seem.
Kathy said she'd be here. See, Mel. Oh, there's Kathy, way in the back.
Oh, now I got it.
Oh, Harrison. She just called me. She's no emergency watch. And she didn't take notes.
No, I was gonna call out. Beautiful.
Oh.
To the board.
Oh.
I still will. Call her name.
Yeah, she just called me.
Okay. You know what? I bet that was her that called me too. Is that her number? We did not leave a message. They got that. Yeah, okay, I don't, but that's probably who that was. That makes sense. So just tell me when you want to start. Sure. 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. Keep talking, but it's 2-minute warning.
Test, test.
Hey, June. Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. My name is Dave Smith. I'm the current president of the Residents Council. And this is our quarterly Residents Association meeting. You may or may not have noticed that we moved the meeting to February. We used to do March, June, September, and October, but Tom figured we don't want one in September and October, so let's move them a little bit forward and keep them spread out. So thank you for arranging your annual calendar to accommodate us. Louder, please. Do what we can. Okay, hold on to your seatbelts here. Joan, is that okay for you? Okay, so thank you.
Can you hear us, Al?
Al? Okay, so again, my name is Dave Smith and I'm the president of the council. Now, the bylaws of the Residents Council say that the president shall preside at these quarterly meetings unless he designates the vice president. And I'm sure you'd much rather see Tom do a professional presentation than to hear me yammer. So, cell phones off, please. Thank you. We decided that we'll keep the lights at this one setting rather than go back and forth, back and forth. I hope that works. At the end, after if Tom's done with his presentation, I'll walk around with the microphone. We'll do our usual Q&A. I wanted to start out just by saying one thing, that recently the process got completed wherein 2 of our members have been appointed to the Woodland Pond Board of Directors. And one of them is here, Tom Gilder. And the other one is one of those one-name celebrities. And I don't know if it's Prince or Cher or Elvis or Rihanna or Beyonce or Ina. That's the name I'm looking for, Ina. Ina couldn't be with us today. She sent her regrets. She called Tom later. So congratulate her as well, please. We try to put a theme together for each of these meetings, and Tom has chosen and worked hard on communications. A lot of you had a chance to participate in the survey a couple months ago. Part of what you'll see today is the compilation and explanation and of the results of that. If you have a theme that you'd like us to consider, please get a hold of one of the members of the council, put something in our cubby, come to a meeting, however you want to contact us. We'd be appreciative of that. And that's all I had to say, Tom. It's all yours.
Got a mic, and I've got issues with this setup. It was working fine. I think a few people saw me do it. It's not engaging. All right, let me try it my way. Okay, no cell phones. We'll take questions at the end, please. Keep things going. All right, so today what we're going to try to cover is I'll review a few of our stats. I like to do that the first of the year because Woodland Pond has to report them to the Department of Finance and Department of Health. I'll go through a couple quick financial metrics. And then I want to talk about a subject that, since I've been living here, has been probably very close to the top of the list, if not right behind it, behind dining. So I want to talk about communications. And there will be plenty of time for discussions and questions at the end of the presentation. Okay, let's look at the stats. These stats I gather them because the Woodland Pond has to report to the Department of Health twice a year, or Department of Finance and Department of Health. And this is for independent living. We're still, that the mix hasn't changed very much. I think I showed it last year. We're 33% male, 77% or 67% female. And the couples are pretty much still what was the same, 69% and 31%. That is for independent living, the 272 people that populate independent living. Okay, on stats, one of the things that you all know, if you don't, I don't know where you've been, but with the renovation and expansion program, we're one of the things they like to show and look at is the wait list. And wait list is defined as people who have paid a deposit to have get on a list for the unit that they have selected. So right now, it's pretty much leveled out at 65 units have been spoken for. That was in June and again in December. Just one small number. Last year, they had 28 closings. So that's about 28. The year before was 33 and 32 in 2001 or 2022. So the numbers are still quite high. We're still 100% occupied. We're very close to it. Just a matter of getting things set up. So that's what we look at. Another thing that I look at or like to see is this is the waiting lists by units. As you can see, it's pretty predominantly people are waiting for the larger units, the two bedroom with the den and the cottages. Already the 6 new Silver Birch have a waiting list. So this is encouraging, and I think this is great for us. The other thing is, again, the statistic I like to follow is at the end of the year, our health center occupancy was pretty high. Again, that may have been the time of the season or whatever. One of the questions I've been asked is, what does the target mean? The target is what Woodland Pond tries to budget or plan for occupancy use of the facility over there. So they would like to see no less than, say, those numbers that are there, 30, 38, and 18. But we're doing better than that. Excuse me. Okay, metrics. My favorite, days cash on hand. We ended December in very good shape. And this is one of the critical ratios that the bondholders and the Department of Finance look at for us. We had 181 days cash on hand. And as you can see, the trend line is still improving. And that's with all the things that we're doing and all the things going on. A very good sign, good health for us financially. And I will see my favorite chair is in the back. He is inviting you all to come to the Financial Review Committee meeting on Monday, 1 o'clock. If you're the last person in, you have to take notes. So get there early. No, we take care of that. But no, I think Michelle always says, if you want to know about finance, come to the committee. We'll get into details on that. Okay, the other number that I look at is I asked the Department of Finance each June and or actually July and January, what has the increases that the other CCRCs in New York State have applied for. And the number I got back shows us as you know, our increase this year is 5%. Normally, that should be about average. And it's the first time that they sent me back the information with an apology. They have only had 9 of the 12 reporting CCRCs give them their numbers. As soon as I can get it, I'll update this. My guess, and maybe because I feel like there are things going on in some of the CCRCs that may be hampering their ability to judge what they need to charge their residents for. And I think we'll probably come out average again. But it's still, this is the state of affairs as it been reported to me. Okay. What I wanted to do, as I mentioned to you, is besides dining, communications. I don't know how many of you, and I have with my experience on the council and other committees, experienced people saying, well, I didn't hear that. I didn't know that was true. I don't understand how you get this information. That's been bothering me for the last couple of years. And so I decided, since I have time now, because Dave's taken over the responsibility of keeping you all happy, right, Dave?
I have one person I have to keep out.
Yeah. And 2 dogs. Anyway, I looked at this, and so please bear with me, but I want to share with you my observation of Woodland Pond and the community's communication criterias. Just to set it up, the way I looked at it is, I looked at anything that was in print or was written, given to you in a written format. I looked at how you hear things, different ways that messages are sent to you. Speaking or talking, like now. This is a session that we're going to have dialogue back and forth, hopefully. The other one is visual, seeing it and going through it that way. And the other sense is sense of feel or touch. And again, my experience here at Woodland Pond, the most nefarious and the most wonderful method of communications is our rumor mill. So, you have to factor that in. We can't keep it out. It's there. I don't know why people will do it. So anyway, I will talk about that. Okay. So when I started this project, I decided I wrote down all these different things, and I said, how would an AI chat GPT look at this? I said, give me how you would communicate. What's your vision of communication? This is what they sent back to me in 2 seconds. And because I was looking to try to see, were there points that I should be interested in investigating for us or whatever. But I decided, okay, that's the way artificial intelligence looks at communications. You can spend all day looking at this thing, but I decided I also I want to throw in Martin's rumor mill because it is still part of things going on. Okay, now this is going to be fun. Bear with me. I'm going to give you a paid commercial and we're going to see how this works. Again, all on the subject of communications.
It was paid for by the German Coast Guard.
That I don't know, but I do know the first time I saw it in 1992, I was in a engineering conference at our company with most every country that they dealt with, and the leader of it wanted to get up and say that, there are ways people come with culture, with upbringing and stuff like that. So just it broke the ice. It got you to thinking thinking or sinking, whichever way you want to go. There are ways that we can communicate, not all the same, or are we all in the same level field? So let's go through what I looked at from the standpoint, again, I just looked at what we have here at Woodland Pond. The printed formats, the Chanticleer, the thing, I also added in Randy or Larry, the Woodland Pond ponderings. These are the documents that I find that ways you can get information that are in printed format. Now, you might find something here that's not true, or again, just bear with me. I do have a purpose in this. I want you to spend 35, 40 minutes with me. That's the purpose. No. Okay, the other one is listening. And this is the way I looked at it is information that's transmitted to you visually or auditorially, but it's not interactive. You're there, it's giving it to you, you take it on whichever way you like. The other one is what we're doing now. I'm talking to you, we've had some interaction, we will have Q&A later. So again, these are some of the forms that we use to get information to you as a resident. And this will all be available at Concierge tomorrow morning. The other one is looking at things visually now. And here what I did is information that's transmitted normally as written, but now we're doing it electronically. Obviously, email is an instantaneous, anywhere you are, if you have your device that you receive your transmissions on, you can get it right away, so you're not out of touch. The website is another one. Connected Living. This is something I understand. I sat with Jason and Lindsay and went over this. All of you are granted a address and a site for Connected Living. There is so much available on that site. If nothing else, at the end of the thing, do go take a look at it. It's got an awful lot of information for you. Obviously, we have our electronic bulletin boards, social media sites, which are, Facebook or Instagram. And I wanted to share this name with you in case that you did get it, that you're not going to go, ooh, this is spam, or this is somebody trying to get into my account. Barracuda is a form of the email that comes through Connected Living, or actually through Constant Contact, that is secure. You will get a password to open it. And again, this is being done as we are required to have protection of HIPAA laws and information like that. So any information that comes to you that way, don't throw it away. It's important. Take a look at it and look at it and go on to it. And then there's BraveNet, which is part of Connected Living. Again, it is a forum for you to post. I've got leftover lasagna. I've got, a car that needs fixing, or I need help getting somewhere. I think you will see all of that being transmitted. That is a peer-to-peer, which is your neighbor-to-neighbor way of doing it. Okay, so when I put that all together, there are 27 of those different forms of getting you information. 27. So if you find someone saying, I don't know where you get this information, it's there. So I decided, and I had Lindsay help me, and I sent out a survey. I know you guys are probably saying, yeah, but it is a little bit of getting a sense of what floats your boat, if they want to call it that, but a sense back on it. So I'm going to share with you those results. But again, one of the things that I have found, and I think maybe it's the underlying message on this, is when you communicate, stay focused on the communication. Sometimes you may be thinking about what do I wear tonight? And the person talking might say, where are we going to meet? So you might get them confused. Here's a good example. If it's not coming to you quite clearly, was the command build an ark? And poor old Noah decided he'll build an arch. Come on, I don't get paid for this, but you could laugh. Okay. I don't know how many remember the show Family Feud. Okay. Huh? Yeah. I wanted to see if somebody was paying attention. Good old spell check. Anyway, the first question is, how do you prefer getting communicated with? So the survey says you partially like to be spoken to. Most of you like to have emails, which is maybe the way the question was worded. But again, how do you want to be communicated? You don't want somebody to give you a text. You don't want it given to you written so much. At the end, Deborah? Okay, well, let me okay, the yellow, thank you. I will let you, because if I blew it up and then it wouldn't fit on the screen. The yellow section is emails. The dark blue section is speaking person to person. The orange is, I hope you're on colorblind. Orange is written and text is blue. Okay, the other one is how you want to be talked to, how you want to be communicated with by Woodland Pond's information sources. Okay, and the survey says, quite obviously, the yellow area is email. You like to have emails sent to you. Again, as I said in the beginning, they're instantaneous. They're wherever you are. You have them to hold and to use later on. So it's pretty permanent. The other is you like to see paper copies. That's the 21%, the red. And then the other two, Woodland Pond TV and Woodland Pond YouTube, is not keen on your way of getting Woodland Pond's information. I want to be sure you understand that. And I wanted to know how you like to get information on activities. This is, one of the things. We have an awful lot of things going on here. And so the survey said, now this one's going to be hard, but basically you like to have it either through Chanticleer or Woodland Life in a printed written form. The bulletin boards are effective, but not your first choice or second choice, third or fourth choice. So that gives us an indication where to make sure we stay from a resident council standpoint and working with management where we keep to encouraging them. The next question was, how do you, and I put this in just to kind of balance, what do you think, how do you get your information from what's not happening here? And the survey said you all liked TV and newspapers were the top two sources of information outside. The other, at the far end, I'm attributing that to the rumor mill. I have no other, I don't know what other means, but I'm going to put it there. So that puts it in that perspective. And then one of the things wanted to find out, coming to meetings like this, is this helpful? Or would you rather stay in your room and watch it as other people are now watching it on Zoom? Again, the bars on the left side of the chart are all in person. So about 70% of you like to come some most of the time, some part of the time. You don't like Zoom as for attending a meeting. And it's understandable. I know when I started using Zoom, I thought it was a little disjointed and a little less personal. And I think that is probably still, for at least I think for me and my generation, or you, truism. And then on weekly updates, this is what would be Michelle's talk yesterday. It would be Dave Roberts' talks on Friday. It could be even this talk, his association meeting, and also the resident council meetings that are done by Zoom. And recorded. Again, Deborah, the yellow on the right is you always like to come personally and do it. And the orange is usually come. So again, it's you like the personal contact, and this is good. And hopefully with our new pack, we'll be able to handle more people attending meetings like this. And then one of the things is, once we have this information, do you think it's an effective means of being able to have this and be able to, you can, at your leisure, at your time, whatever interest you have, be able to use shared or the stored information? Overwhelmingly, yes. It's almost 80%. So the others don't really matter, but yes, so that will be something we will continue to focus on. So what I took away from this is your preference for communicating, and again, this may be my poor skills at writing a good survey, is you like communications electronically. You want to hear from Woodland Pond through emails, which is electronic. You prefer to have your activities printed out for you, I think from the idea, put it on your refrigerator or put it on your bulletin board so you can go look at it and circle it. So Chanticleer and Woodland Life is a great way of doing that. To me, I have reservations because the minute it's printed, before the ink is dry, there's a change in it. So it's okay if that gives you some comfort, but do check the bulletin boards or Connected Living to see if something is happening. Like this morning, we were advised that the pool was closing at 11. So we all scuttled down there and got our swim in before they shut the pool down. But it had been on the calendar. We have it today and on Friday. No, because of the new pack heating. Joan, I'm coming back to you. And the other one is you enjoy coming to meetings. You don't like them electronically, but you do like the fact that you can go to them afterwards, review what was said, go to what specific segments you want to know. So this is something we will ensure that stays part of Woodland Pond. And then watching the updates sort of as it happens. It may be because when it happens at noon, you're off doing other activities, other chores and stuff like that. But again, they are available for you as a source of information. So what I wanted to end with is when I looked at all of this, my concern was, how does Woodland Pond and you interact? Okay, to me, there's four areas. There's safety or help, as I've called it. There's information. There is broadcast over TV and other electronic devices, and in written form. So let me start with what I would call the emergency information. Everyone has a SARS, which is dependent, and the pull stations in your apartment or your unit. Alarms, which are the fire alarms and things like that, are everywhere except obviously the cottages. Electronic alerts, those are the things that come out through either to your cell phone, to your landline, to your email address, and to your apartment, however you might be hooked up. But according to management, 100% of all the residents here are connected one way or another, including the in-person contact.
I think it's PERS, not Sarah. I think it's PERS rather than Sarah.
Sarah is the system.
Yeah, the PERS is the name of the vendor.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah,
That's the one people know about.
yeah. Well, Sarah is the system that they do it. Yeah, so I'll make sure it's next. Okay. On info, I'll correct that so that it's on the web, or you can pick it up with the correction on that. The website is a good way of getting information. I think I talked about constant contact and these. The thing about online is all the documents that you need, if you need a leaving town document or you have a guest coming, all those are online for you to get. From a printed standpoint, Chanticleer and Woodland Life is out there. The printed forms and things like work orders and things like that at concierge or reception are available to all residents. You get mail documents and then published documents like the minutes from the board, minutes from the council are as paper form in a wonderful library. And then we have from a not streaming, but from an electronic standpoint, things like the connected living, the social media, and this meeting, and like what Michelle did yesterday, you can go to the Woodland Ponds YouTube station and it will be there. And then as well as the weekly updates. So again, 100% of us have all of this available to us. I would say as you go forward, if you're not comfortable with what you're getting as information, please either find one of us on the council or find somebody in management, sit down and talk about it, because as you see, there's many, many ways that we can bring information to you. You need to tell us what you're comfortable with, okay? And so the other thing I charge all of you that have come, and I appreciate it, is if you have someone you're sitting with and they say, I didn't get the alert, please either take their name down and give it to concierge or encourage them to come to concierge. Alerts are 100% to everybody. So that needs to be corrected. That is a plea from management. They want you to know what's going on. They're not hiding it from you. It's not their idea of the way to run a safe, secure facility. So again, one of the things that when you're sitting and talking to people about how they communicate or how they look at things, don't jump on the fact that you may have the only way. Okay? Talk to them, find out why they think their way is better. Dialogue it a little bit, but as it shows here, you could be looking at the same thing, but come up with absolutely the exact right answer from two different points. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is communicating at Woodland Pond. And questions?
Well, first of all, I think, what did you say, 46 ways?
27.
Oh, I thought he said 46 because I was thinking that Tom said he wanted to do 50 ways to leave your lover.
Yeah.
Just a couple more ways to get it there. One thing we didn't do that we like to do at these meetings is acknowledge the resident council members who are in the audience. So could you all just stand up and turn around and see the
wave your
room?
hand, Molly. Wave your hand.
Molly's working. Molly's working. So I'm pretty sure everybody's here. So thank you.
Where's
And now question. Gee, here's one.
Tom, on the slide on the financial metrics,
yes?
how many days there's of cash reserves? What is covenant?
Covenant is the requirement that the bondholders have of us. We have to have 125 days. So when the agreements were made and the bonds were issued, they said, you need to be at that level. So that's our target. That's where we'll be. And hopefully it will get a lot better as things progress. Okay, thank you. Yes, I have a
BraveNet Barracuda. I don't remember ever getting information on this. And I'm curious to know how many people in the audience know all about it.
All right, just a real quick survey. Barracuda, you may not, it's again, a secure transmission of information from management to you that they, because of HIPAA laws, may be transmitting information about your accounts on healthcare or something like that. They will do that, Barracuda. It's not a every day you'll see it. I got one and I was going, ooh, shark attack. No, it's from management making sure everything's secure. So that's how they do it. It's part of their email system. BraveNet, and I would say, raise your hand if you know about it and used it. Okay.
So-
It's again, it was last year, and I look at Yakov, one of the things the council wanted to do was to improve this ability of residents to contact other residents. The bulletin board that's in the cart room is effective to a
Quiet,
certain,
people, yes, thank you for that, quiet.
is a way to do it, but it's not, new stuff. It's not the good stuff. BraveNet was introduced and it has, from what I've seen, has a multitude of uses, and don't abuse it because it'll go away. But, things like I need a ride or I've got this, I've got extra that. Do find it. It's very easy to get on. It's part of connected living. Go up to, there's a thing, pull it down and you'll see BraveNet.
Also on that Barracuda thing, I got one communication from that about a month ago,
Uh,
and it
yes.
disappeared after 60 days. They told me in the beginning, this is going to disappear after 60 days. So it must have been something they didn't want permanent record of. Joyce and then Yakov.
I don't have a question, I have a comment. For several months, I was not connected to Constant Comment, so that I was missing a lot of stuff from Michelle's office, and I never got that survey. Cameron finally fixed it, and I was not the only one that was disconnected. So
Okay.
I'm hoping that everybody is now connected to Constant Comment, because important stuff comes through there.
Yes. Again, if you, okay, yeah. Okay, let's have one conversation. Thank you.
They
Well,
messed up-
I'll give you the mic.
They messed up with Apple, which seems to have a different system. So you were not alone in not getting it. I complained about that, and the tech people say they've fixed it. So anybody who's not getting it and uses an Apple computer should talk to the tech people,
Yeah.
because at least in my case, they've fixed it. I don't know about others.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yakov.
First, a very brief question. How many people responded to that survey?
100.
Huh?
100.
100 out of 270.
272.
272. So that already gives you an inkling about how much people, because some of those people may have answered on the internet, some on paper, I believe. Is that there was?
Only 2 on paper.
Okay, so the majority, but even that tells you that a lot of people that have even access to email and other communications may not necessarily use that. Now, I personally, I think I'm fairly fluid in using different ways of communicating electronics and so on, and I find it pretty confusing and requiring accessing to many different sources to get all the information. So the information is spread out on different media in different ways. And by and large, it's not a push system where you get it. I mean, yes, emails from administration will get pushed to you via email, but many others, unless you actively go to the site, you won't get the information. Now, having only about 27 hours a day for me to do things, I mean, it's really very difficult to keep on top of everyone. Okay, even keeping on top of emails, I mean, it's becoming an issue. So I think that there is some virtue to have to condense some of those instead of having how many you counted, 27 or 50?
27,
Huh?
27 possible sources.
Yes, I think it would be very useful to have those combined in a way that you don't have to go to every different system to get this piece of information, the other one, and so on. Just as an example, for instance, you get the schedule for the week, which is great. You have it in one page. But when I am at home, I don't carry that piece of paper. When I'm not at home, I don't carry that piece of paper with me. So I put those appointments, try to put them on my phone. Now, that's an extra step, having to type each one of those committee meetings and so on, my phone. There is no way for me to download it to my phone, to my schedule.
Okay.
So there is a lot of places where we need to make some improvements. The other example is the BraveNet, and we have been speaking about that, basically replacing the paper in the cubby,
Right.
okay, with an electronic system that people can access, and it's still clunky. For instance, you cannot put a picture on that. There is a lot of things that, although it's much better than having to go to the card room, still there is a lot of things that, and I know that, I think that you have people raise their hands, and there were probably about at least 30 or 40 people here that watch it. But I doubt that it's the most effective way of reaching out people.
Well, again, Yakov.
Yeah, I mean,
what I found
these are
was-
comments. It's not
Okay.
a critique of yours.
Thank you. Would you, Dave's right behind you. More questions?
Lady here. Did you say?
Jean, that's Jean.
Jean Lerner. Yeah. This isn't about communication, but you were talking about bonds a few times in the bondholders.
Yes.
And is there going to be an opportunity if we wanted personally to buy bonds?
Bonds in Woodland Pond?
Yeah. Could we become bondholders?
Unless you're sitting there with $23 million and you would like to author a bond. There will be later on in March, there will be a presentation on the financing, the in-depth financing background of this expansion and renovation. So that would be an excellent time to come and do it. But generally, they go out to certified people that are in this, say, sector, in the senior living sector, that provide bonds, or you can call it mortgages, on renovations and things like that. Okay, so do come, if you want. Can you come Monday? 1 o'clock.
I'm not sure I can. I'm working, so.
Finance committee, so you can ask.
I just want to say that there are some of us that are still maybe in the 18th century and do not have a smartphone yet. So having something written and put into the cubby is very important still. Thank you.
Again, all these, nothing is to being taken away. These are just ways that you can do it. Again,
Joan?
you want to customize it, sit down with somebody and they'll help you customize for your taste, your abilities. What do we got? Oh, hi, Joan.
Yeah, since most of the responses were through email, I think you should interpret the results as having a bias towards email.
Sure.
No argument. Others, John? Claudia, pass it over to John, please.
In relation to the question about bonds, just review what the president of the board of directors did in Council Connections. What he explained the bond issue very, very well.
Yes, that's Chris
That's
Doran,
available.
done by Dick Berry, who is,
It's on YouTube.
yes, it is on YouTube.
Others? I don't want to miss anybody.
I see a couple fingers in the back and one up here.
I just want to say that we've been having some trouble with the boards. Yes.
Go ahead.
We've been having trouble with the boards when you come down to connect on the boards. You might hit Monday and it's not going to the right day.
Marilyn, you're talking about the electronic bulletin
Yeah, I think
boards?
you're talking about the electronic bulletin boards. That's part of Connected Living, is it not?
Yes, it's supposed to be all tied in together. All right, well, this, again, if you see something wrong, go down
Holla.
concierge, say,
Holla
it's
to the
broken.
concierge. Holla.
Yeah, holler out. Let us know. As Tom Tango and Michelle will tell you at Q and A's,
Sorry.
you're the
I
eyes.
went back to you all.
We got more eyes than they got eyes. Let them know. Don't be afraid. Just say, hey, this isn't working. This isn't right.
Any other hands?
There's a hand up here.
Oh, sorry.
I think it's Evelyn wants to volunteer for something on the
Oh, yeah,
council.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, you don't want to talk?
When I try to find something on YouTube, like Michelle's address, how do you do it? I mean, it's very hard to find anything. At least I don't know the secret.
So you have YouTube. On the left-hand side, there's some things you can do. Go to Woodland, type in Woodland Pond at New Paltz, and then the whole thing is there. It's not necessarily sorted by the latest first, but you got to have a lot of patience. and it's not always the same. It often reshuffles itself as well. So it's a bit of a frustration, but it's there. It's there.
Also on Connected Living or the portal, if you go to it, you look for documents, it will come up with all of her talks and all of Dave Roberts' talks. Anything is stored there as an archive.
The website.
The portal.
Yeah, something about that is the documents that should be there and they should be updated. There's been some trouble with that. Somebody at a council meeting a month ago or so reported that, and Lindsay's looking into it, but it's got to do with the third-party administrator for that site. So a lot of the Chanticleers and a lot of the minutes for the council are not up to date. Sorry for that, but it's out of our hands, so to speak.
Okay, Alice,
Alice.
I thought you weren't here. I didn't see your hand.
For Michelle's talks and Dave's on email, the day they give it, there's a Michelle address or Dave Construction or whatever he's called. The link is there right on email. You don't have to go into YouTube at all. The link is there and you click on it and it comes right up to your screen. And then you turn on your sound and click the arrow and there they are. I get confused with YouTube also, but they've made it now so that you can access it. If I can access it, anybody can access it.
Great testimony.
That presumes you have email because that's how it's coming to you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, other questions?
Constant contact.
Nothing behind me?
Okay.
Nothing in front of me, Tom. They're
Again,
all up to date. They're all
yes.
up to date.
Again, Dave mentioned at the beginning, and I plead with you every time I stand up here, let us know what you would like to have a presentation on. Is there something that you think would be informative for you and your neighbors, for this community?
Something that's within the purview of the association.
Association.
We're not qualified to speak about the finances of Woodland Pond or the renovations or anything. That's a management thing. But if it's something that we can help educate you on or have fun doing, especially
Right.
fun, I'd love to.
Okay. At this time, Dave, I make a motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn.
Unanimous.
All in favor? Thank you. See you in May. Is it May?
Yeah, but I want to. Maybe we're going to have 2 meetings.
Right.
We're gonna have a special meeting and association meet back to back in the same day. We do the bylaws at the special meeting and then we do the regular meeting. But I don't want to, we'll tell them that later.
What happened to the slide about communications dining?
I put that last